Welcome to another session of AZMAT System tutorial. In this particular tutorial, we're going to look at the AZMAT System under Windows 95 and Excel 7. Just to show you here, if I go in the Excel Help, About Microsoft Excel, you can see it's Microsoft Excel for Windows 95 version 7. So we are running Excel under Windows 95. Open the program file open, and I'll open the assessment of XLS as read-only. That's the simple one. AZMAT system password is two-letter ID. I'm using AA and 4-digit own password. You notice difference between this and other versions like Excel 2016 or 2010, in that the menus are already here. So this is the one Excel 7 version. Please select the required command either from AZMAT menu, JK, Gmail, and all that, or from any Excel menu. So in here, the difference here is, as you can see, the menus are already here. The other main difference is, if you notice here in the status bar here, as I move along, it gives a slightly longer description of the command you're looking at. See, for example, there's a change password of any user there, whereas here it says change. Well, I can't move it there because as soon as I move, it will go down. So if you read the status, if you can read the status bar, it says changes the individual password of any user of AZMAT system. So in the status bar here, I can put a longer description. And the other difference here is we can actually have a look at the AZMAT help file, online help menu. So if I click that, opens the help file, AZMAT system help menu, AZMAT help index, introduction to AZMAT system, how to use AZMAT system, quick guide, conversion from Lotus or Symphony. For those of you who are not aware, there were other spreadsheets, Lotus, Symphony, and originally it was VisiCalc, then Multiplan, and so on. So more about AZMAT help system, SSWAP model, and so on. If I click on any of these, quick guide to AZMAT system, for example, will quickly take me there. And it explains each, that particular one, how it is, how would you use, and work with all relevant names, all that, so on. You can read it at your leisure. See very detailed explanation of what it is. This is actually explaining what's on here. If you see here, if I come down here, if I the main AZMAT System here, you can see that it's explaining all these, the parameters area. So if I go here, help file again, and I can just move one page at a time. Present value, for example, calculus present value, Control V, and exactly how it is calculated and where the result is put. For example, Control D calculates discount factors. Results go in the current cells and below. Whereas, for example, duration in years, result goes in the AZ general parameters area. Duration is also entered in the current cell. So wherever you have your cell, the result is entered there, as well as the parameters area, which is in here on the main file or whatever file you're using. So you can go backwards, forwards, and so on. And we can even from here go back here, for example, I can say present value in yield parameters. I want to look at that. It quickly jumps to that. So this help file is very, very useful. But the main difference is you cannot open AZMAT System help file in Windows 10 if you're running. You have to only up to Windows XP. So this is Windows 95. We have got it. We will also open in the under Windows XP without any change as it is. And then later on for Windows 7, 8, 8.1, and so on, you can, but by downloading certain program for Microsoft website. But after that, from Windows 10 onwards, I'm afraid you cannot open AZMAT System file because Microsoft has changed the this whole system. But there is a solution to it. We'll go later on how you would actually be able to see that if you want to. So this is the other difference here in this earlier version, like version 7, which we're looking at, is if I can just close this file, has a system file, help file rather, and you might notice, for example, here you see the Z menu is not highlighted. I can't see the Z menu at all. And this is in the earlier versions. This Z menu would only be available because Z menu is specifically for the SSOP model. All the SSOP model commands are under Z menu. So unless you actually are on the SSOP model currently active, Z menu is not available to you. If I click here, nothing should happen because there is nothing there. So let's just have a quick look. Here, all we have is right now aa.xls. That's the user file. Let's open. But if I'll open the SSOP model, then you'll see what I mean. It will be much clearer. So let's go in here, J. And the other thing is, if you actually want to see, you notice that I do not have the help file open anymore because it was open, but I closed it. Okay, help file is not there anymore. I closed it. So, but if I go in here, for example, here, I want to see it says here SSOP model opens or activates SSOP model. It says here. Whenever I highlight, when I put my cursor on any of these commands, you will see in the earlier versions of Excel, like the current one we are using, Excel 7 or Excel for Windows 95 is the same thing. If you're using here, the advantage is you can actually see whatever commands they are, you can enter a longer description in the status bar if you want. And that will be displayed as the user moves the cursor. For example, here, all this color I've got here is money market instrument, example, FRCD's price basis. Whereas I can put longer description here in the status bar here. It will say, says opens or activates money market instrument, example, FRCD's model, quoted on price basis. So there is a much longer description available in the status bar. This facility is no longer available on later versions of Excel. Microsoft used it for other purposes, so the user cannot, the programmer, if you like, cannot use it to display longer description, for example, in this case. The other thing, one other difference here, for example, I can place my cursor on any of the commands. Say, for example, here, quit AZMAT, do not save any files. At this point, if I press the F1 key, help key, F1, see what happens. Press the F1 key, I've got the help file, AZMAT System opens the help file and actually opens the page on which my cursor was. So if my cursor was, I had put it here, if you remember, on this particular one, quit AZMAT, do not save any files. So it's actually, the file is open. If I go here, there, quit AZMAT and Excel, do not save any files. And it actually gives an explanation of that particular command. This command finishes AZMAT and Excel sessions without saving any files. No files are saved, even if they have changed since they were last opened. Therefore, if it is required to save changes to any files, then use either overwrite original file command or appropriate save as command before using this command. AZMAT System can be started again as follows. 1. By double-clicking the AZMAT icon. So if you have got set up so that you've set up AZMAT to start with the icon, AZMAT icon, it can be started again. Note, unless this is particularly because I set it up AZMAT on here, so I could click on the icon. If you do not have an AZMAT icon, obviously you will not be able to set up. You will not be able to start AZMAT System unless you have set up an AZMAT icon to do so. Right. So the difference here in this earlier version, the reason I'm showing you is AZMAT System is very, very flexible. It can work under any version of Excel, from Excel version 5 all the way up to Excel version 16, 1.6, or which is Microsoft Office 16. It automatically detects which version of Excel you're using currently. So you can have several versions of Excel on the same PC and use either, for example, in this case, I'm using Excel version 7. I could also use Excel version 2003 or so on, which I will do so later on another machine. In fact, I'm going to show you that running under Windows XP. And we'll run Excel version 2003 and so on. So, but some of the advantages of the earlier versions of Excel are not available in later versions of Excel. This is due to change in Microsoft Excel versions. Nothing to do with the programmer. It's the actual program. Excel program has changed, so it does not allow you to do so. For you, particularly this was very useful. I thought that you could have user can any particular command you would like to know. So open curve for file edit, for example. Note that last time we had the page which is open was here. I didn't change it, and still there. Show you still there. Quick as with Excel, do not save any files. So it was here. Let me just go on to somewhere, for example, here on the K, and I'll put it here, open curve for file edit. At this point, I'll press the F1 key again and see that it should change, bring out the help file and open the page on this particular topic. So if I press F1 now, there, open curve for file edit. See, it's so useful. I don't know why Microsoft took away that functionality, but it is not available in later versions. We can't do that. So if you press F1 on any of the earlier versions of Excel, this facility was available. It was very, very useful. So any command you didn't understand, immediately it would bring it to the open the AZMAT System help file and bring it, open that particular page of the command. In this case, open curve for file edit. I want to know more about that particular command, what it does, how it, what happens, and it's all there. I don't need to look through various versions and find out where it is. It's there. And this particular one, as you can see, explains in quite detail. So if I go down here, it's in quite detail exactly what happens and so on. Right. So let's now. So this functionality is only available in earlier versions of Excel, like Excel version 7, and so on. We'll see later versions as we go on. Each version I'll try to show you what is available and what's not. So the actual AZMAT System help file, you can look at it. You can open actually the help file itself by saying view AZMAT help file, or by simply pressing F1 key, the function key F1, after placing the command on any particular menu, AZMAT System menu. Of course, if you click the same thing on here on any Excel commands. These are all Excel commands, as you can see, file, edit, and so on. If you press F1, this is not going to go and bring the AZMAT System help file. It will go to a particular page of Microsoft Excel help file. But if you are on any of the AZMAT System commands, AZMAT System menus, like they're all here, all the way up to from J, K, X, and so on. There, when you press F1, it will get to change password of any user and so on. Or reset. So, okay, that's let's start actually do something here now. Now that I hope this is fairly clear, that the help file, how to use help file, and you can literally spend hours reading it. It is quite comprehensive. Let's have a very quick look at it, the actual help file again. I'll just update feature days. For example, press F1, file is there, but I can just say update feature days. Explains to me exactly what this particular command is and what is required, what you should do, and so on. So if you're not clear on any of the commands, I suggest you go and read that particular. So if you are using earlier versions of Excel, that's the best thing. You could spend hours reading it before you do anything. In here, I can quickly obviously go to the contents page straight away, and I can, in this case, can't go back because it's just the first particular page and so on. But once you are there, you can't go back. There's nothing. That is my first page. Or I can move forward by simply moving one page at a time, or I can straight away go, for example, call its duration, what it is, and so on, how to use it, or so on, or the AZMAT model itself. AZMAT model is a very, very comprehensive star model. And here, as you can see, the number of help pages on it. AZMAT model there, then highlights of AZMAT model, and more about AZMAT model. It's a very, very comprehensive financial model. This AZMAT model is equivalent to all the other 11 financial models put together. The only next one comes after this one is the bonds model, then the FRMs and so on. But as you will see later on, it is very, very complex. It's a system on its own, if you like. So let's open actually the AZMAT model just to have a quick look at it. So if I go here, open it, very simple. Go on the J menu here, just click AZMAT model. Note that right now we have only got one file open, AA.xls. AA because that's the two initials I'm using. AA, my user ID. In your case, your user ID, whatever it is, .xls, because this is Windows 95. Remember, Excel version 7. So the XLSX and so on, they are from later versions of Excel, not these earlier versions. All the earlier versions of Excel have only 3 character extension, as they were for a long, long time until they was changed to 4 letters in later versions. So if I click, so at this particular point, if I show you on the Windows, all we have is one file open and visible. We have actually, as you know, in all versions of Excel, whichever version of Excel you're using, there are other files which are not visible, they're hidden. So if I click on the Windows unhide, you will see there are other files are open. AZMAT.xls, that's the main program file, and so on. And there are many other files are open. As you'll see in later versions, there are even more files are open. In this particular version I have got here, and this one, but the one later on I'm going to show you, with this one, there will be other files available. So let's just open the AZMAT model. And there it is, AZMAT model. And now, if you notice, Z menu is visible. And also all these commands here apply. They are applicable only when the AZMAT model is active. Notice that in this earlier version of Excel, Z menu will not be visible as soon as I move away from the AZMAT model. If the AZMAT model is not the current file, Z menu will become, you'll see that it will not be available, it'll be dimmed, Z. So just to show you, now if I go and change my file to the user file, note this file, keep an eye on this one. As soon as I change to AA, Z menu is no longer available or applicable. It's dimmed, so I can't even click. If I click, nothing will happen. The menu is not available because this file is not the AZMAT model. So just to show you, let's go and open. So we have the ZB AZMAT.xls, which as soon as I click there, you'll see that the Z menu will become available, because if I have that particular file active, there, Z menu is now available because I am on actually the current file is the asset swap model file. Just to show you, prove it to point to you, if I'll actually go and open another model, for example, the bond calculation model or floating rate notes, whatever. Let's open the bonds calculation model and see what happens. This should not be available again. So bonds calculation model, open that, and as you can see, the Z menu is not available. It's dimmed. And if I go back to the SSO model, it will be. Again, this feature, I'm afraid, is not available in later versions of Excel. So there are many things you could do in earlier versions of Excel which you cannot do in later versions. In later versions of Excel, Z menu is available all the time, whether the particular SSO model is active or not. But so there are many features like this, which were actually available in earlier versions of Excel, but sadly, they are not available in later versions of Excel. And that's nothing to do with the programmer. It's the program itself. Excel has changed dramatically. So let's say so if I want to use any commands in here, Z menu, I can go and use these commands. But before we can do anything, you may remember, may or may not remember, you have to have the rates files have to be updated on a daily basis. So let's, although I can leave these files open, both the SSO model and the bonds model, but let's just go and close it. I don't want to have too many files open if I don't need them right now, because you cannot do the calculations in SSO model. For that, we need the rates files updated on a daily basis, remember. So this one has got today's date is 23rd of August, 2017. So I need to update the rates files today. Okay, let's go and go on the bonds calculation model, and I'm going to close this particular model. So I can go here and I can just say, for example, I can't close it there. I can use some other file to close the current curve, because it's not curve file, close current file. If it's here, it's not. I could use this one, close current file, but let's just go and actually use one of these from this particular one, G, bond and file calculation close current model. I can use that, or in the utility menu, see if we have a particular file, close current file, do not save changes. But let's use the actual, in this bond and foreign calculation menu, close current model. So it doesn't actually have to be bond and foreign calculations model. It will close any of the current, whichever model is here current, even the SSO model, I close that way. Or I can use this command, close all models. Note that it's not referring to any of your particular models which you have created. This means this is referring to the AZMAT System financial calculation models here. Any of these 12 models. That's what it's referring to. So if I actually, let's go in here, I'll say close all models. So it should close the ZG AZMAT.xls and ZB AZMAT.xls. So if you see on the windows, that's my SSOP model, that's the bond calculation model. So if I go in here and say close all models, it should close those two, and what should be left with would be only my user file, aa.xls. Let's see. So close all models. Right. So if I go here now, only the user file is left. It's closed both of the SSOP model and the bond calculation model. Okay, and surprise, surprise, as you notice, as I said before, you no longer have the SSOP model open. So in this particular version of Excel, Excel version 7, Excel for Windows 95, the Z menu is no longer available. It will only be available if we open the SSOP model, and that particular model is the currently active file. Then Z menu would be available. Okay, let's go and using the K menu. Notice the other thing here is in this particular version of Excel, Excel version 7 under Windows 95, we just to show you that again, I'll go here. No, that is a different one. I've changed on the help menu. If I say Microsoft Excel for Windows 95, Excel, this is version 7. That's what I'm using right now. So in this particular version here, this Z menu will only be available if you have got the SSOP model active, open and active file. Right, let's go and we'll open, we have to, in order, before we can do any calculations, we have to open the curve file for either rates edit or file edit. So file edit is the one I'm going to use because I'm going to update the future dates as well. So let's go and do that. See, ZIUSD, yeah, that's the one I want. And so it's open that for full edit session. And as usual, it says here, note that changes to this file will not take effect unless an AZMAT System command is used at the end of editing. Okay, so let's now, I'm going to select the features area. I don't need to do it, but it helps. If I've selected it first and then I say, right, then I use the update feature dates from the K menu. It's also available in the utility. Not in this particular one. Okay, let's go. I have changed it in the data version. So in the K curve menu, update feature dates. If I did that, if I click that now, because I've already selected the area features, this is from F1 to F12. In this case, in $5. Note that this may not be always. You won't necessarily have 12 features. Some files you will have only 8 feature dates, or in your own file you could have something completely differently, because you can have up to 1 to 99 features if that's what you want. But this is the reference curve for US dollar, and the standard reference curve has got here 12 features. So having selected already, if I go say update feature dates, it will actually select that area for me in there. You'll see that it's highlighted all because I've already selected. There it is. Row 14 to row 25. There, 12th feature, column 6. This is column 6. See, That's the advantage of selecting it already. If I hadn't selected it, it would actually show wherever my cursor is, the reference for that. And then I'll have to move it and select it. Or I could type it in if I wanted to. But no need to. Let the machine do it itself. It's much better. So there it is. Click OK. So now there it is. And the note that today's date here is August the 23rd of August 2017 we have. So the first feature is September 2017 and so on. Features are every quarter, as you know, from other tutorial sessions. If not, okay, you now know every quarter, so September, December, March, June, and so on. So because now is August the 23rd, today's date is the first feature is September the 2017, and then December 2017, and the next one is March 2018, and so on, all the way up to June 2020, 12th feature. So let's assume that we have changed the files. We can change anything. We have opened this particular curve at this point has been opened for file edit. So anything can be changed. You can change the number of features, number of cache instruments, if you like, or number of swaps, whichever, if you wanted to. But I wouldn't just go and change anything if you didn't know what you were doing. These things, unless you are a bond dealer, as a swap dealer, you're advised not to change any of these things. But the choice is yours. If you wanted to, you can. It's your file on your machine. You can do whatever you like. But I'd advise you to do all those what-if things on a curve file that you've made yourself. For example, you could call it ZRUS1, US1, US2, US3, and so on, whatever, and leave the original reference curve file in its original format. By all means, do experiment, but only in your files that you've created yourself and saved it. Okay, so right, having done that, now as you use this, remember, any changes you make, even if you use the Excel file save command, save or save as command, save command in this particular case, will not recognize that. The file actually will exist on your hard disk by using the Excel file save command, but AZMAT System will restore it to the original next time you come to edit that particular file. So it has to, you have to use it, and you will learn how to do this, how to program it, something like that, yourself as you watch more tutorials or attend more tutorials, particularly the live ones. We won't go through these in recorded ones, as this particular one is. In live tutorials, we'll go through that at a later date, much later date. Right, so right now I want to go and use K, and having done, I will open this curve for file edit, and I'll say I save curve changes. Right, I could actually use close current file to not save changes. If I'd made some mistake, something somewhere, didn't want to do anything, I'll use that command. But in this case, I do want to save the changes, so I'll use the save curve changes command. Click OK, it gives you the choice. Always have a choice. In almost 99% of the commands, I have programmed it such that the user is given a choice. Major commands like this. If you do not want some simple, for example, when I specifically say close curve, do not save any changes, then you have already set so it will not waste your time. Then it will actually do so. Okay, click OK to keep any changes, or click cancel to cancel the entire session. Restore ZRUSD.XLS to its original condition, i.e. as it was before the original edit command. Note, even if you had saved the file, as I said earlier on, using Excel file save command, and then you come here and actually try to save in here and then use a click cancel, it will actually restore the file you have actually saved on your hard disk to its original condition before you had opened, before you'd used that file edit command. And you'll see how you will be able to do that later on. Okay, in this case, I want to keep it, so click OK to keep. Yes, I do want to keep. Remember, note that is September 17, the first feature, and so on. And these dates here, maturity dates, it will also calculate now. When I say, right, click OK to keep any changes, now is the time it will actually calculate all these items in blue. And the date, it will put up today's date and so on. Anything in yellow is something where you entered the data, so it will not change any of those. Okay, click OK. Always display a helpful message to the users so they know what's happening. Okay, it is completed the calculation on raise file that, and the file has been saved. See, it says ZRUSD manual, because there is a live version as well. But we won't go into that right now. File has been saved. So let's open that particular file and have a look at it. So I say, where is it? K, open curve for view. So let's open the ZR. It is there because that's the last I had used it. So open curve for view. Because I said view, it opens as read only. The idea is, unless you're actually doing any edit in a particular, supposing you're working in an investment bank, most people would open this and read only unless they want to change either the rates, these things, any items in here, their price range, non-feature price range, or the spread range, or the actual rates, bid or bid offer, or offer one, it'll be one or the that, or the bid offer spread. Unless you're changing that, they're advised to open only in read-only mode, because the person who wants to change those, they will have the opportunity to do so. Otherwise, they will not be. If you open it as in read-write mode, no one else will be able to open that in read-write. That's why, if you do not need to change any of the rates or any of these items in yellow, then do not open for edit. Open always as in for view. So note here, for first feature September 17, and now the date is also changed. All that. When does it mature? It matures on Wednesday, 20th of December. And that date as well is put down, the date and the time, 12:32 a.m. on 23rd of August 2017. That's when this file was changed. And there is AZMAT System actually keeps a record of all whenever these reference curves are changed by any user or open for file edit by the two-letter ID. So you will be able to learn how you can design a system by which you can keep record of that. So you do not need to ask anyone who last changed it, opened for file edit. So in this case, last it was saved by AA on that date at this time. And now I've opened, although my initials are AA, I've opened it as read only. But if there were several people, because AZMAT system is designed to be used by several people, it's a multi-user system. For example, in an investment bank, so there will be several dealers. Anybody will be able to see. For example, if they go in here, for example, let me see, display details, so not in this one here, in the K, status of current curve file, or status of any curve file. So if I click that command, I can say, well, for example, the GBP, the British Pound Sterling curve file, status of that, it'll tell me who had last opened it for either rates edit or file edit and so on. And whether it's actually currently available for editing or not. It'll tell me if anyone else actually currently using it, it'll say so that such and such user has been opened by XY. If that was the initials of the user, is open for rates edit or file edit. And then you can decide whether you should open it, that particular file or rates edit. Or you could ask them, literally, if they're sitting across the room, you could ask them to, when they would finish, so you can open for file edit or rates edit. That's the idea. So, for example, so right now, let's go and open. I'll leave that one there. No harm leaving it open for now. I'll open another curve file, open curve for file edit, and this time I'll open not the US dollar, but GBP. So GBP. See, it doesn't have to be uppercase, lowercase. This one I've just got there. Click that. So I'm opening the British Pound Sterling file for full edit session. Okay, click OK. This time I won't select the features area. I'm just going to use the command and then show you then what happens. Note my cursor is here, row 1, column 5. So I'm saying update future dates. I've got the GBP file open. Update future dates. I'm here at row 1, column 5. That's where my cursor is. See, row 1, column 5. AZMAT, because that is the sheet name, is worksheet AZMAT, row 1, column 5. That's where the cursor is. It shows that. That's why I had used that features area, highlighted it before I use that command. But no problem, I can do so now. I can say right here, watch what happens. As I select this should change. So select, this is what I want. I can stop here if that's what I want, but it's not. So it's row 14 to row 20, column 6. This is column 6, row 14 to row 20, but that's not all. My actual area is much bigger, so I can start either again from here, or I can use actually just to show you row 14, row 20, column 6. If I go down, hold down the shift key, right? Shift key, hold it down and click on There, next one. So now my area is changed to row 22, 14 to 22. Or the other way I can do is I can hold it from the first one again. Note that's changed to 14 column 6, that one, and hold it there and then drag. While I'm keeping the mouse button down, I'm holding there, it's going there. My features area is only up to here, row 12, features 12, 12th feature. So there, row 14 to row 25, column 6. Okay, that's my features. Okay, I say, and it's done that. So it's got here, first feature again is September 2017 because current date is 23rd of August. Right, let's go and use the Save Curve Changes command. Again, gives me the choice whether I want to keep changes or not, or cancel the command. If I cancel the command, it actually restores the curve to its original position, what it was. Maybe let's just do that so you can see it actually does what I'm saying. So let's say I made some changes. I don't want those changes to actually, for example, this change here, F1, features September 17 and so on, 17, December 17, March 18, and so on, March 2018. These are the and so on. So let's say I cancel it. Cancel this command. Okay, this you see here because I'm actually on the US dollar file. It's not the GBP. It's the GBP is the one I can. This one is the one I've opened it for read only. That's why it's here, because it says the AMI user file and US dollar. So if I'll just close this one. Hope it didn't confuse you. So if I say close current file, do not save changes, that's the quickest way of, right, done that. Only file I have open is AA. So let's go, and this time I'm going to open the curve for file edit. GBP is selected because that's the last one time I had opened, that's the curve, that's why. Nothing special, it's only putting the last file open, so it's there. So open for file edit, open for rates for full edit session. Note that here, see it's got the features December 12, 13, and so on. Right, let's go, and this time I'm going to select it, actually, the whole area. This is much better, quicker. Select it quickly, and then say update feature dates. Already highlighted, correct area, 14 to 25, row 14 to 25, column 6, 14, 25, column 6. It's done that. See, there. And this time I'm going to say, save it. Save the curve changes. And I'm not going to cancel this command because I wanted to change all these dates, as you can see. Instead of from 2012, 2013, and so on, it should change to 2017 and so on. So save the current, save curve changes command I'm going to use. And going to give me the usual message, yes, I do want to save it, so click OK. It's done that. If there was any error or anything, it'll actually display the error message. It doesn't display the error message, it's just informing you, for informing. The file is saved. So if I look at it now, it's only got my user file open. It has done the GBP as well. if I want to look at it, I can open it for view. There it is. Have a quick look, and you'll see that yes, it's got features September 2017 and so on, and these are also changed to reflect the maturity dates. So on. Note that it's not just the features. Once after changing the any edits, whatever, always it calculates the maturity date column. Also these as well. In this case, offer price and mid price based on these values here. In this case, it's a bid price, offer, so bid plus offer. It's a spread, remember that. Remember, so this is 0.063. It's actually 0.0625. Here I'm only displaying 3 decimal places. Here I'm displaying up to 5 decimal places. That's why it's called 3.06250, because this actually is 0.0625. But because it's being displaying only 3 decimal places, this is rounded up 25 to 3. That's why it's showing 0.063. So the spread is that, the bid price is that, so the offer is that plus that. Simple as that. If we had entered the offer price, if the offer was all yellow here instead of bid, so it's the offer and the bid. So the bid would be offer minus the bid offer spread, and then the bid price would be, bid price column would be in blue, and the formula will be calculating that. In this particular case, entering the bid price and the spread. Okay, the other thing here, if you actually check the name of that, you will have the bid one, the bid offer, the actual name of that would be, or let's not go into that for now. We've gone into another session. It's a completely different thing. I don't want to say only half of it, so I won't go into that. But what is dependent when we actually changing a rates file, rates or whether you enter the bid price or the offer price depends on whoever actually decided in an investment bank. One of the main senior dealers will decide whether that particular curve, in this case ZRGBP, whether they will be entering the bid price or the offer price. Bid offer spread is always entered. So, but whether they enter the bid price or the offer price, and that's also determines the name, the value of the name. Bid 1 offer 0, or bid 0 offer 1, so on. Okay, so in this case, we have opened read all. We didn't have to open it as, but I just wanted to show you that it has actually done that. So this file, both the ZRGBP and the ZRUSD are ready for to be used in calculations. So let's just close this one as well. We don't have to close it, but let's just close it. I don't like things left open if you don't need them. Close the current curve file. Close OK, or cancel to cancel the current command. If you didn't want to open it, close it rather that command, click cancel. So I do want to close it. So I'll just say close current file, do not save changes. In which case it won't ask any questions. It'll just close it. Okay, so the only file I have is here. So let's just, now we can use these files in calculations. So For example, I've got here ZRUSD, and if I want to use, I'm using the calculation method to C of date. I haven't said anything. I could actually, I should go and change some of these. So for example, let's just change. So I'm going to change here, as you'll see here. Copy that. And from there, and I'm going to go down here. There, that's the easiest way. So we have it from August 2018 and so on all the way up to 18, 19, 20, 18, 19, 20, not quite what I wanted. Right, I'm going to select copy that. Why don't I just simply change it here for now? 21. Two, 3, 24, 6, and the last one, 2027. Right, so the cash flow from here, beginning there, 2018, 19, 20, 21, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. More meaningful. So let's just say before even I save it, actually, before I do the calculation, I'm just going to save the AZMAT data file. So right, it's 23rd August 2017, time now is 12:53 a.m. So it saves the date and time when the file, whenever the file is saved. If you use the AZMAT System command, save AZMAT data file, it'll always do that. Put the date and time as well, as long as you actually have an area range name called AZ date time, then you'll do that. Right, I want to use the cash flow 2. So I'll put 2 there. So use the cash flow date 2. That's what it means. I put 2 there. As you'll see, you would watch in other tutorials we've gone in quite detail that. So I won't go into that now. And I'm going to say right now, in fact, let's just I can actually overwrite that. So if I press Control B, that means to calculate the present value and the yield. So if you see here, for example, let's just show you in the X, present value, yield, present value, and yield. So If you can see, I'm not sure how clearly you can see the status area, which is here, the status area. As soon as I move my cursor from here, from the actual command, it will go away. So keep an eye here if you can read on the status area here as I move. When I move my mouse onto the present value and yield, the status area shows Control B enters present value and yield and current cells. So these are my current cells. I can actually just use that if I want to, or I can actually use Control B there. So let's actually first just use this from present value and yield from the menu. And I've got that highlighted here, minus 39,728 and 6.68 here. So if I use that, see what happens. Here is minus 22,000, 6.38, and so on. Present value and yield. What I'm saying is to use the US dollar curve, use the cash flow 2, because that's what I have here, cash flow 2, CF date 2, this cash flow date area. So I come here on the X, present value and yield, enter them here. Note here, although my cursor was here, these two were highlighted, selected rather, had made no difference. When I use the menu command here, from the menu, control, the no control key, I didn't use the control key, present value and yield, what it did was enter the results in the AZ parameters area, present value there, and the yield. There were two completely different values. This was minus 22,000 something, and this was 6.14 or 24 something. Definitely not 6.34. Okay, let's do the same thing again this time. So I'm just going to not use the menu command, keep these two highlighted, not highlighted, selected rather. And if I use the same command again, exactly the same command, it'll basically calculate and enter those values there, but this time, because I'm using Control key, Control B for both basically, means enter the present value and yield in the first and second cell. If I use like this, it means enter the present value in my first cell again, and the yield would go in the second cell. If I have it like that, first cell, present value, second cell, yield. Okay, let's go and overwrite over these values. So this is minus 39,728, 6.68. This is 6.34. Remember, since I haven't changed the curve dates at all, anything here, it will basically calculate these very same values again, enter them again there, it'll just overwrite it, whatever, all this exactly the same. But the main difference, if I use control keys, it will also enter it in the current cells, as well as in this area. So if I now enter Control B, so Control B, there. See, and entered the same value there and here. 6.3491, 6.3494086. And similarly here, 414,398.78. But here is going to 3 decimal places. It's nothing to do with the actual number of decimal places here. It actually, what it's doing is what it can display here in this particular cell easily. So, for example, the yield has gone to 3, 6, 7 decimal places. The present value up to 3 decimal places is more than sufficient. So, when you use control keys, so if I use only control V or control Y for yield, control V for present value, control Y for yield, and enter that, or control I for internal rate of return. You learn all these technical terms, the investment banking terms later on, and or you can actually read the help file yourself now. But we will go through those at some future date in some future tutorial, but not at this stage. I can also actually use some of these. For example, let's take these dates, for example, up to there, for example. Copy that, and I'll say there, and let's just change these dates, something completely different. Notice that you have actually here, but what we haven't done, other thing which you could do, is you've actually got here, for example, Sunday. We could use the command to remove. So before we actually do that, let's do that. In fact, instead of that, I'll leave that here, or I'll just use the undo command, for example, edit. This is the Excel undo command. So let's put back the original, whatever it was, and I'm not using that here. There. So leave that there, whatever it is. I just want to go through one other thing here. In here, note that here we have a press the escape key to cancel the command, copying command. Note that here we have a Sunday. Here we have another Sunday. Remember? So 1, 2, 3, 4. Fourth date is a Sunday, and the last date is also a Sunday. Okay, what I want to do is right now, I want to go and say, replace holiday dates in DF days, but I want to actually select, let's see, check dates for holidays. Okay, I want to use this particular command, check dates for holidays. So if I select this, I've selected the dates already, the whole lot here. Let's see what happens here. Check dates for holidays. And so we'll check to ensure that none of the dates in the highlighted area fall on a holiday. Replacing any dates which do. Is this okay? Press OK to proceed or press cancel to cancel this command. So if I move this here, you will see that because I selected the area, this is the area I want to check. Selected that, I want to make sure that, so it's going to ensure that, so we know for sure, for example, Sunday, and Sunday is the holiday, it will come off. So I wanted to replace it, so it will replace it. So let's go and say, okay. Supposing I selected by mistake, not for the current area, I will use cancel command to cancel and then restart the command. Right, in this case, I want to proceed with the command. So check dates for holidays. Okay, so it should change this 2, 4, fourth one, and the last one, Sunday at least, unless some of these dates also, some of the weekdays, they are weekdays, but they may perhaps fall on a holiday for a particular currency, in which case we'll do that. But right now, let's take it off here. Okay. AZMAT system has checked all cells. Okay, so it's just saying that. Now look what happened. Your fourth day, 2, 3, 4. Fourth was a Sunday, and the last was a Sunday as well. Put it to Monday. There, put that fourth one as well to Monday, following working day, basically. Done that. Now, having changed that, I want to show you something. Now, notice 2 dates have changed. One, this fourth date, this one, and the last date here. In the cash flow date 2. First thing I want to do is actually I want to go and save this data file. So remember, this was 12:53 a.m. last I had saved it. So I want to save it now. Save it as a data file. It's 10106. Okay, and it's more important is actually change these dates, which you should not have. I should have checked the dates before doing the calculations. What we can do is we can see that the amount was that, which is the same there, and the 6.34941, 6.3494086 will be 6.34941 up to 5 decimals. Cash flow date 2. So this time, if I use the command from the menu, it will enter only there the result. It will not change any of these here, even if I've got these selected. Let me just show you something here. I'll select completely blank 2 cells there, but I'll use the menu command from X menu. Although these are blank, nothing will enter here. It will not enter anything there. It will only change the values here. From X menu, present value and yield. We'll still use the cash flow date 2 because I've got number 2 there, CF date, and that's the one there. Where notice we have changed we've taken the holiday dates out, which were the fourth one was Sunday previously, and this last one was also Sunday. Let's change it to Monday in both cases. See what happens here now. Present value and yield. It will change these values, present value and yield. And we have for reference these. Up to 3 decimals, this is up to 7 decimal places. So present value and yield, calculate that. So this is 414,398.78, 34941. See how much difference is made. $413,000 instead of 414,398, so 413,000. If I put this minus that, so if I say equal to, we can do the calculation here, but roughly it is what? 826,336,236. 123,6. So equal to that minus that. So 1236.71. So it's made a difference of 1,236 pounds or dollars. In this case, it's US dollars, so it's all in dollars. 1,236 US dollars just by having the date changed to a weekday. So it's less, okay? Because these are the amounts you're getting back. And if you get back originally, this was a Sunday, 15th August. This was also a Sunday, the original cash flow date. So how important it is to make sure that you actually get the current value. In this case, as you can see that by putting it on a weekday, because the actual values will not change hand on a holiday date. They will be changed. They will actually be changed. The values that people would be getting or paying or receiving on a working day. So just by having two different dates changed from a Sunday to Monday, one day, just one day, makes a difference of 1,236.71. And the actual, the value yield, for example, which was 6.34964, 6.34941. So that is slightly, it's about 6.34941 and 34964, 34941. So that also has changed value, but the yield value, but up to only from fourth and fifth decimal places. So 0.00024 difference in the yield. But the main one in the present value, 1,236.71, just by having two dates wrong. So it is important so that you should always check to make sure that the dates are not falling on a holiday. So using the is it check dates for holidays? Come on, you can the utility menu. You can use that. You can highlight any of the dates, and then AZMAT System will check it for you. In this case, we're saying avoid the weekends, for example. But if I go here, if I show you here, you can have, in this case, discount factor days, for example. You can avoid, if you put one here, it'll avoid Saturday and Sunday, but it'll also avoid these special dates. So it's an array of dates. These dates are actually, because Excel doesn't say, for example, Monday, 15th August 2022 for a date. It actually converts that into a number. So if I copy that, for example, let's say that, copy that, and I put it here, edit, paste special, put it as a value, right? So it will not put the same, it's not putting the format like that, just as a value. So it should put it just as a number there. So 15th August 2022, Excel actually looks at it not as that, looks at it as a number 44,788. That's the, converts that in the Excel engine, if you like, uses the number 44,788 is the number it uses for that particular date. Similarly, all these other dates, all the dates, whatever format you use, doesn't have to be like this: day, and then the day, month, year. Could be any format, whatever it is. Always Excel converts it to a number and use it. So when you define special dates, what you can do, what you should do, is enter them as a number. And of course, if you could enter just one if you wanted to, but I wanted to enter 3. So I have here 39441, 39448, and so on. So these are special dates to avoid. And then I'm also saying that the discount factors, dates to avoid, are the current bank holidays for the, sorry, not current, the currency bank holidays for the GBP. So British pound sterling bank holidays, avoid those. And also avoid the special dates of the US dollar and so on. Then replace holiday dates in discount factor dates, so on. We won't go into any more of that now. For now, we'll go perhaps in some future tutorial. So let's first use the escape key to come out of this particular command where I had, because I had copied that here. So if I press escape there, that command is cancelled. Okay, for now, I think we will perhaps stop now for this particular session. Hope it is much clearer that this AZMAT system, when you're using in earlier versions of Excel, you have access to the AZMAT system help file. View AZMAT system help file. It's already open. I think if I see that here, even if it was not, if it's open, it will show it straight away there. If it's not open, it will open it there. And notice that that particular file where we were there, well, it is there, it's behind that, but I just want to show AZMAT system help file there, and you can read at your leisure, quite a lot to read. That's just that one page, because that's the index, the contents page. You can go to various of these commands directly: evaluation, general parameters area, discount factor parameters area, and so on. Explains exactly what they are and how to use them, and so on. More about AZMAT help system. For example, if I click that, I get how to actually use the help file itself, goes through that. And I can just go one page at a time, or I can go backwards, or I can jump to, for example, discount factor help index, or discount factor DF parameters area, and so on. Or this directory itself, curve file name and race file directory, there. Jump to that particular page, whatever you want to see. So I would strongly recommend you to actually read the help file. You'll learn quite a lot, not just about AZMAT system and how to use it, but quite a lot about the investment banking, all the various calculations and so on, or various terms as well. So it's very, you could basically just read that if you like, even without even loading AZMAT system, because you could simply get that particular file in an file explorer, for example, and select the AZMAT system help file and press return or double click it, and the AZMAT System help file will open. And then you can just simply go and read it, or you can even print it if you want to. But it's quite a lot. I wouldn't advise you to just go ahead and print it. Quite more, you're talking about at least 150 pages, probably more there. So just read it is probably better. And you can just, okay, I can go straight back to the contents and so on. Okay, let's just close it. And I'll just go up to the top. Let's just see that. I'm just going to save this file again. So save that. So now it's 121. On 23rd of August 2017. And this particular session was just to show you the AZMAT system will work in just as well, maybe even better, because it's much easier for users in earlier versions like this particular one. You can actually see what the commands are here. You have access to the help file directly by opening wherever I am here. Press function key F1, and it will not only open the help file but also jump to that particular page of the command where the cursor is. So if I have it here, open live file for view and press F1, it will get to that page and so on. Open the help file and do that. Or I can just simply open the help file, go to the utility menu, view AZMAT help file, or I think from here as well, J menu, view AZMAT help file. So this is something we will also, in another session, we'll go through the Excel 2003, perhaps in Windows 95. And remember, this particular version is running from Excel, from the AZMAT system on the hard drive C, whereas most of the Windows Excel 2010, I was using one of the not the zip file, but the USB sticks, or drive F or G and so on. So this one is from drive C, on the hard disk, using that. So file open. So if I say file open, this is the user file, which is on AZMAT. Whereas if I actually now say change to the AZMAT program file there, and file open, this time it's the AZMAT program file. So C, Office 95, Excel, and AZMAT. And so we are here. Oops, I should have gone there. Made a mistake. Okay, let's go. Well, there's an easier way actually, much easier way. So I can just simply, so if I say file open, I'm somewhere, I'm right at the root of that particular file. I can just say U and go to AZMAT program directory. So now if I say file open, I'm actually in AZMAT program directory. All these are AZMAT system files. More than 100 of them. Okay. And normally, once it's opened AZMAT system, it will actually change to AZMAT user's own directory. The idea is you could open the program from, supposing in an investment bank, the program file might be somewhere on a network directory. But the user's own directory would not necessarily be on a network, it will be on the hard disk of that particular user, the particular user's PC. So the user's directory, own directory will be, most likely will be on C, if that's what they've got there, but or it could be, well, it could actually be on somewhere, some other letters, F, G, or whatever, but the program directory on an investment bank will most likely will be on a network directory. So if AZMAT uses own directory, if I change it, so we are here, file, open, and this is from C AZMAT. Cancel that. And if I change it to AZMAT program directory, file, open, you'll see that is C, Office 95, Excel, and then AZMAT. Because Excel is here under the actual AZMAT program, Excel program directory. And the AZMAT, if it's on a C, must be as a subdirectory where the Excel program is stored. So I'm here, that's with my program directory. Okay, let's finish it for now, this particular session. Let's see you later again. So this time I'm going to say, here I've only got that one file open, my own user file. I'll just go in here and I can say, quit AZMAT, do not save any files, or quit AZMAT, save files beginning with user ID. So all your files, that particular user's files, should also be saved. You could do that by using that particular one command. So you don't have to go and save them yourself. You can just use this command. So quit AZMAT, save files beginning with user ID, or you can use the other one, do not save any files. So I'm going to use this one. Finished. Okay. I'll stop this now.